Hi, I'm Rob from Hopzine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. It's going to be a two-part review this time, looking at a couple of beers sent to me very generously by the people over at the Penpont Brewery in Cornwall. The first one I'm going to be looking at is their Howl Reserve IPA at 7% ABV. It's hopped with Cascade, Moto Echo and First Gold. First time I've ever had any beer from this brewery. So go and check them out on Facebook, Twitter. Facebook, just add on Penpont Brewery and then exactly the same at Penpont Brewery on Twitter. I mean, good idea, keep it straightforward. I mean, so many people have got different names and stuff, so anyway, so make sure you check those out. I've got this relatively cool. Not pouring with a great deal of carbonation. Is it a Cornish thing? I don't know. Beer in the glass. Quite still looking, kind of really nicely, great clarity to it. A nice golden ale. I mean, I don't know if there's any sediment in it. No sediment in it actually. I poured it as there were, thinking there would be. So, not much of a head. A bit of a little bit of soapy suds like you get on a old bowl of washing up liquid after you finish your work. So let's give this a good swirl. See if we can generate a bit more head and some aroma. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I'll get back to that in a minute. It says it uses a slow, a slow. What's it say? I've got some kind of notes that they sent me. So, slow fermenting yeast. It's got a bit of a Belgian smell to it. Slightly like a Belgian triple. Yeah, there's that kind of slightly quite mouldy peach thing going on. There's also a lovely fresh pineapple without a doubt. Slightly grassy note. Yeah, lemon juice, like a sweet, actually no, I'm going to say lemon curd. But a slight bubblegum. Yeah, it doesn't say it's used as a Belgian yeast strain. But it definitely smells along those lines. And I mean, it doesn't say it's what kind of yeast it is, but because it's not saying it's a regular ale yeast, I'm thinking they might be playing around with something. So I guess the proof is in the tasting, so let's dive in. Cheers. Thanks for the guys at Penpont. Very dry. Interesting. That mention of the yeast makes me think there's something, they've picked something specific. I am getting a mild kind of clove, maybe like green banana. Drinkable, very drinkable. Dandelion, quite an assertive grapefruit. Lemon peel. Yeah, there's a kind of like a sharp, blunt bitterness, but it is very dry. Very, very, very dry. Keeps coming back for more. Yeah, it's got me stumped a little bit. It's definitely making me think of something like a Belgian golden ale, or verging towards a triple, not quite, but something about it really makes me think of that. There is a nice amount of bitterness in it, and that really comes at the back end, where it's grapefruit, but it's not fresh, juicy grapefruit. It's more like pithy, kind of pithy grapefruit, and then a really dry kind of bitter lemon. There's a chalkiness to it. And then at the back end, a slightly floral, kind of wildflower kind of thing going on with a lingering bitterness, but very dry. So yeah, so that's part one. Penpont and Howl Reserve IPA, hopped with First Gold, Cascade, Moto Echo. Interesting stuff. I'd be really interested to hear back from the guys over at the brewery to see what that yeast is, because for me, it's got it's Belgian. It tastes quite Belgian. Not massively, but it doesn't taste like an American pale ale strain. And it's not got the characteristics of a traditional British ale yeast strain because of that dryness. But then again, it might be this interesting combination of those kind of American and New Zealand hops. A little bit of, and I don't know how much of the First Gold. I think I am getting a lot more of that First Gold. Thinking about it now, it's buttercup syrup. Yeah, honey. Acacia honey, that kind of thing. Maybe. I'd love to, I really look forward to finding out what those kind of like amounts of First Gold to Cascade to Motueka are and what that bloody yeast is, because it's got me stumped. Anyway, I'm Rob from Hopzine.com. I'll see you in the second part of this review. Cheers. Hi, so welcome back to part 2 of my look at a couple of beers from Penpont Brewery in Cornwall. This is a bottle of their Monk's Brew 1127 Abbey style ale, 6.4% ABV. The interesting things about this, it does give you a bit of kind of spiel about the origins of this idea with it, looking back at an old monastery that was in this area and kind of looking back to what the kind of beer that they would have brewed at the time. The interesting things to me, it does say Abbey's Belgian style yeast, and the interesting thing I picked out was it says it's got juniper and a secret blend of herbs and spices to give it the beer a slight bitterness, because it's got a very low hopping rate. Yeah. So let's get this open. Got my chalice. I think they're not Trappist monks, but not super dark. I mean, it has got a darkness to it. Not as dark as a double. Quite a good amount of carbonation. Not too aggressive. Beer in the glass. A lovely kind of brownish, kind of tarnished bronze colour. No head at all. Surprising. I mean, a lot of Belgian style beers are usually a bit ferocious and they've got a big whopping head on them. Maybe could have done with a bit of wheat in there. A lot of Belgian style beers do have quite a high percentage of wheat and kind of additional sugars and stuff in. But yeah, no head to speak of at all. I know this glass is not that kind of prone to it, but it's a chalice and it's an Abbey style beer. So let's have a sniff, see what it's all about. Not getting a hell of a lot. Yes, brown bread, kind of malt loaf, that kind of thing. Bruised bananas. Oh, it's slipping all over the place. Bloody, I'm rubbish. I always use a tulip, and when it comes to swirling any other beer, this glass is crap. I'm covered in it. I'm flicking it in my face now. What a shambles. Anyway, I'll come back to that. Let's taste it and stop mucking about. So, excuse me, this is terrible. Let's dive in. Cheers. When I went closer in then, I got roasted chestnuts, a hint of smoke actually. Yeah, kind of. Sorry, I'm getting another glass. Right, so I've got another glass because this is not working for me. I need a bit of a bowl. When you're doing this kind of thing, you need to be able to agitate it a bit. So there we go, look, oh, there we go, I can swirl it to my heart's content now, can't I? Ah, much better. I'm getting a lot of, there's a perfumed edge to it. There is quite a lot of kind of sweet red apple. There's a hint of kind of varnish in there. Herbs and spices, what they put in here, clove I'd say. Oh, something smells like orange peel. It's got a big nose in it actually. Now you're getting a proper glass where you can actually give it a bloody swirl. Me and my suitable glassware, just stick to some of what you used. Yeah, there is a sugary note to it. Yeah, once again, chestnuts. So let's dive in. Cheers. Definitely in that kind of Belgian style. It's got like a sweetened kind of brown loaf, that kind of thing. Maybe some kind of lovely loaf you might have cooked up with like cinnamon and raisins and stuff like that. Quite watery. A bit flat for my liking. Tastes fine. It tastes fine. So it's 6.4% ABV, Belgian Abbey style ale. If I'm going to be constructive, I mean, it's nice enough. It's nice enough. I'm not bouncing off the walls by any stretch of the imagination. It's either, as far as Belgian beers go, it's missing a lot of carbonation. There's not much carbonation in this at all. I mean, look at that. I don't know what those spices and herbs were that they've mentioned. They've kind of been secretive about. What's the point of being secretive about it? Because personally, I can't pick them out that well. Apart from like clove, maybe a hint of vanilla or cinnamon. It's got a lot. I mean, it doesn't drink like 6.4% whatsoever. I think it lacks a bit of body. Depending on what you're going for, if it's going to be like more like a double, I think it should have a bit more carbonation, a bit more kind of like character in the malts as well. Yeah, maybe some. I don't know which ones actually. I mean, I think you're airing towards kind of some lovely Belgian aromatic malts and stuff like that, and a slightly higher percentage on the dark malt. I guess this brings me back to a beer like the Abbey Ale from Owen in upstate New York, and something more common like Leffe. It's not got as much sweetness as that. It's once again quite dry. The yeast isn't bringing that much character. It's got a mild licorice thing just going on there. I don't think it's a million miles off, but I don't think it's kind of hit the mark. As you can see, very drinkable. Yeah, it needs more sweetness, a bit more body, either a bit more body, I'd say a bit more body to give it a bit more presence, and also quite a lot more carbonation. I mean, a lot of people might think Belgian beers are overcarbonated, but they're Belgian beers, so if you want to make a Belgian style beer, make it a bit more carbonated. I know this is maybe like a historical kind of Cornish ale, and I guess in turn, I mean, this was a British beer that was then, people kind of see it nowadays as being Belgian style, but that is the kind of measuring stick that we have to go by, because that is the most prominent one. And if you think of the most prominent kind of double, that would be Westmalle. And for me, that's got a load of character. It's got a lot of malt character, and this just doesn't kind of hit the mark for me. Nice enough, but a nice start, but I think it's got a long way to go. Anyway, please check these guys out online. Facebook, Twitter. You can find them on their website at penpontbrewery.co.uk. If it focuses in, there you've got all your social media stuff and everything on there. There we go, it's focused in. Please check them out. Lovely bunch of people, and I commend them for having a go at a beer of this style, even if, in my eyes, it doesn't quite hit the expectations I had for it. As I said, drinkable, enjoyable, but it could be much more with just a few little tweaks. Anyway, I'm Rob from Hopzine.com. big thanks to the guys at Penpont for sending these beers over for me to take a look at. I have enjoyed it, even if this one doesn't hit the mark completely. The IPA is very nice. I'd check that out. I'd love to find out what you're putting in that. I'd love to find out about percentages that you're hopping on that, and also the yeast, because that fascinates me. Yeast makes so much difference. People overlook the kind of the work that yeast does in a beer. So I'll see you next time. Cheers.